Our guest today is an Academy Award-winning actor whose long and distinguished career has made him a Hollywood icon for more than 3 decades. Please welcome Jon Voight. Jon, it's great to have you with us today on Sidewalks.
Hey, Cindy. Nice to be with you. I'm just turning my cell phone off so we don't get interrupted.
That's probably a good idea.
Want to be professional, you know.
I hear you. So when you hear that you've been in the, the business for 3 decades, does it still blow your mind?
Well, listen, I've been around, a little bit, and I'm, the veteran actor Jon Voight they introduced me as. But I'm very, I've had a very, I've been very fortunate in my career, and I look back and I think I haven't done too badly, so I'm still going.
I would say so. Now, you've had such longevity in your career. Mm-hmm. You've seen an awful lot of changes in the film industry. What's the most surprising changes that you've, as you look back through the years?
Well, I think that the movies have almost every decade, and I'd say changes within the decades as well. But they have it changes shape a little bit. When I first started, there was a lot of turnover because the studio system had proven to be kind of stale, and so that a lot of independent work was getting a lot of attention, and that gave birth to the 70s, and then there was kind of there was a shift. There were a lot of action pieces. All of a sudden, there was a new genre, this action genre, and then of course we hit a time when there was new technology, and that of course is every decade as well. But when you see some of the stuff we're able to do with computers these days, it gives us another paint tool, But
that's right.
But stories are still the thing,
That's right. What do you attribute to being so adaptable?
I think that I started out as a character actor. I've always been in love with the people who can really disappear into their work, and so I think that's helped me, be quite flexible, and when people don't know what to do, they say, well, maybe Jon has an answer to this.
Well, let's talk about your film September Dawn.
We have been honored above all other men to be the chosen instruments of death in carrying out this merciful deed. We have a duty to perform. It is a duty we owe to God and to our church. The orders of those in authority are that all the immigrants must die.
Tell us a little bit about the story.
Well, it's a story, it's a true documented event in the history of the United States. It's a story about a wagon train, a Christian wagon train that was going across Utah in 1857, 150 years ago, and was attacked. There was a massacre. 120 people were killed, and it was perpetrated by Mormons.
Wow.
It was a very shocking thing to read. And by the way, the film is not pointing the finger on the present-day Latter-day Saints. Much has changed in 150 years, of course. But it does give us a way to view the architecture of religious fanaticism and how religion can be used to justify murder. It's a shocking part of our history, and of course you have to bring truth to every chapter of history. Otherwise, you risk creating new horrors in the future based on things that you didn't learn, lessons not learned.
That's right. Now, this story really has had quite a bit of controversy, as you kind of alluded to, between the Mormon Church and the descendants of the massacre.
Yeah.
Why was it important for this story to be told?
Well, as I said, I think you have to learn the lessons of the past. And as I was pulled to a movie called Rosewood, as Schindler's List was done, you would hope that the people who made those films were anticipating that if we don't learn the lessons of the past, we're in jeopardy of perhaps continuing horrors into the future, into new generations. So that's the importance of it. And besides the fact that what's happening today in religious fanaticism, what we're faced with today with Islamofascism or Islamists, it's a very serious business, and we don't have the ability to in a civilized world, we have no ability to really even comprehend how people can strap bombs to themselves, have mothers teaching their children hatred and strapping bombs to themselves, shooting schoolgirls on their way to school because they don't believe that women should have an education, having people, having a young boy being taught to saw off the head of an innocent man. I mean, we have no way to understand this. That programming can produce this kind of insanity, and so it's probably helpful that we have a template to say, here's how it happens. This programming, when you take a young person and you teach them a certain thing, they're a bomb that's going to go off.
Well, it sounds like a really amazing story, and I think well,
it's certainly relevant.
It's
Cindy,
absolutely relevant.
Yeah.
You know, because of the length of your career and the most amazing film projects that you've been lucky enough to do, is there a character or a role that you have performed that you're going to look back on, you know, at the end of your career and say, wow, I was really proud of that character?
Well, you know, I've been more fortunate than most, Cindy, because there's so many people. I have different days. I have champ days. People come and say, champ was the greatest, or I have Odessa-file days. I have days when people talk about Varsity Blues. But I think that probably, so a little bit for everybody, that's what I think is one of the biggest blessings about the career that I've had. Anaconda is a big one that I get, but I think I'll always be known as the Midnight Cowboy too, and that's a happy thing too, because it was a great movie, of course.
As we close, do you have any career advice for those rising young actors out there who are hoping to have the same kind of career you've had?
Well, if somebody's interested in this business, I say focus on the work, you know, take care of yourself, keep yourself away from distractions and nonsense, and if you and live a proper moral life. That's a terrible thing to be, you know, this kind of guy on a Monday morning. But I say if you live a life that when you're satisfied with yourself, when you've got your full brain power, you're not distracting yourself with barbiturates and drugs and stuff, and you focus on your work, you'll have a good career.
Jon, thank you so much for being with us today on Sidewalks. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure, Cindy. Thank you.